Welcome everyone on this very wet day to the site of our River Avenue project. I'm Cal Hedigan, CEO of Community Access, and I'm excited to be here today to celebrate breaking ground on what will become Community Access's 18th affordable and supportive housing development in the city, and our 9th here in the Bronx. We began planning for River Avenue well before COVID-19 changed the world we all live in. But we are gratified that the development of affordable housing has been able to continue unabated through the many phases and stages of New York City's grappling with this public health crisis. One thing this pandemic has made very clear is that ending homelessness is more important than ever. We in the supportive housing community have long known that housing saves lives, but these last few months have been a stark and painful reminder of that fact. There are more than 54,000 humans living in shelters in New York City today. And according to recent data, New Yorkers living in homeless shelters are dying at a rate 78% higher than the overall New York City mortality rate when adjusted for age. Our city's most vulnerable inhabitants deserve better. This project is funded in part through the Empire State Supportive Housing Initiative. We are now in the last year of the initial 5-year commitment to fund 6,000 units of housing, including those that will be built here. The continued growth in the number of New Yorkers experiencing homelessness speaks to the dire need to renew the funding of this initiative so that we can reach the goal in New York State of 20,000 new units over 15 years. In the fall of 2022, thanks to so many of you who are here today, this construction site will be transformed into a very tall apartment building that will provide 245 homes to New Yorkers in need. Children will grow up here. People leaving the shelter system will get a new start here. This is all possible thanks to our incredible funders and partners: New York State Homes and Community Renewal, New York State Office of Mental Health, New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development, New York State Housing Finance Agency, Joy Construction, MAD Equities, Alembic Community Development, Wolfgang Architects, and Urban Quotient. Thank you also to Bronx Community Board for your support. And last, but most certainly not least, to Chris Lacavara, who works like a dog to make sure that Community Access can keep building. Now, it is my great privilege to welcome our special guest speakers. First up is Commissioner Ruth Ann Vizioli of New York State Homes and Community Renewal. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Cal. On behalf of the governor, I'm delighted to be here. I'm happy to be here in sun. I'm happy to be here in snow. I'm happy to be here in rain. As with many of you, I'm just happy to be out of my house. So I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Cal, and thank you, Community Access, for all the work that you do providing services to New Yorkers in need. The last 7 months have shown, as if we didn't all know before, how much organizations like Community Access are first responders and are frontline workers and really are the critical backbone for so many vulnerable New Yorkers. And so we are incredibly thankful for all the work that you have done over the time of your existence, also during the pandemic, and all that you will continue to do as we move forward in the coming months and years. At the state, we are lucky to have wonderful partners. So I would thank my fellow staters at the Office of Mental Health for their partnership in this project. I would thank HPD. It's always wonderful to have city-state partnership in the projects that we do. And of course, I want to thank our elected officials. Do you go with the train? Do you not go with the train? I don't know. I'm from New York. I talk over the train. And of course, I want to thank our elected officials The Bronx, its borough president, its council members, its state elected officials have a big heart for affordable housing, and that's really important to us. And it's not everywhere we go around the state that people have a big heart for affordable housing. So we continue to come back to the Bronx over and over again, just like we are today for 1159 River Avenue. When complete, will house 245 units of affordable housing, including 128 for households experiencing homeless who need services. And as many people have heard me say over the years, the governor when at HCR, we have a very ambitious 5-year housing plan that we're sort of at the tail end of. And these are exactly the types of projects that we are happy to be squishing in as we are heading into the last year of the plan. They are impactful. They are important. They are well located. They are obviously near transit. They are near schools, houses of worship, near supermarkets. It is important to us that we aren't just building housing, but that we're building quality housing that gives people opportunity, like this one will do. I think there's a little mention in my notes also about just how close we are to Yankee Stadium and how that could also be a big boon for many people who will live here in the future. Lastly, I would just say I'm excited to be here, not just because we want to show that we are still building and that this housing is very important, and that despite the pandemic's impact on all our communities, we are, as state government, with our partners out here working day in and day out to provide this much needed affordable housing. But we also opened something with community access on East 172nd less than a year ago. We have a project up in Bedford Park that we recently completed. We just started something at 2050 Grand Concourse up in Fordham Heights. We are really, really busy in the Bronx. We have about 20 different projects that are in construction that are about 2,800 apartments. Just right now, we have another 5 to 10 projects in our pipeline. So you get the idea. We are super focused on investing in the Bronx. There's a really rich history here and a really bright future, and we're excited to be able to support this project as part of that. So thank you all, and as always, stay safe.
And next, we're going to hear from New York City Council member Vanessa L. Gibson. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. Thank you so much, Commissioner, on behalf of Governor Cuomo, and thank you all for being here despite the weather. It's really important that we're here for this official groundbreaking. I am Bronx Councilmember Vanessa Gibson. This is the district I represent and have been the representative for the past 7 years, and I'm so grateful. And I thank you all on behalf of our community, our beloved borough of the Bronx, for your incredible work. I want to thank you so much, Cal, and Community Access, the entire team, for all of the work you've done over the years, certainly in the entire city of New York, but right here at home in the Bronx. The COVID-19 pandemic that struck this country several months ago is a firm reminder of so much need that we have here in the Bronx. Access to healthy food, access to stable housing, quality health care, and safe streets are some of the essential components that we fundamentally believe in here in the Bronx. And sadly, many of our Bronx residents that died to the COVID-19 pandemic had underlying health conditions. They lived in unstable housing. And so today's groundbreaking is another reminder of the urgent need to continue to build and stabilize our families. Over 245 units of permanent affordable housing for formerly homeless families, supportive housing with social services on site, amenities, ground level commercial retail, all of the components that we know are critical for our single adults and our families. I could not be more proud of all of the projects that I have been a part of. And I just want to take many of you back to 2017. The New York City Council overwhelmingly passed something called the Jerome Rezoning. And in that rezoning, we upzoned many of our residential communities from R7 to R8 and R8 to R9. Almost $200 million of capital infrastructure that we are investing right here in the Bronx. Hundreds of housing and new units of housing, 2 brand new schools, $50 million in Department of Transportation infrastructure, 2 brand new elevators at our local subway station, and $60 million in park upgrades. It was a neighborhood plan. It was reflective of exactly what the community needs and has always been asking for. And so I join with all of you. I am thankful for community access, for Mad Equities, for Joy Construction, for Wells Fargo, for our state partners at HCR and HFA, our city partners at HPD, as well as HDC. I spoke with Commissioner Louise Carroll early this morning, and she sends her regards, and I know her director of development is here. And this is really a labor of love. Every dollar that we invest is an investment in our future. It is an investment in our children's future. And so I thank you to the engineers, the architects, the construction team. I had a site visit here a few weeks ago with George Madruga and his team, and I am just so proud. I can't wait until we officially cut the ribbon on this new project, because it is a welcome addition to the Bronx. And certainly on behalf of my colleagues in the City Council and my colleagues here in this community, Bronx Community Board 4, and our District Manager, Paul Phillips, we thank you. We thank you for your commitment, for your dedication, for your labor of love, but most of all, we thank you for your love of the Bronx. The Bronx has not always had a lot of love, but this is truly a labor of love extended with a collective partnership on behalf of all Bronx residents and the city of New York. So I congratulate you, Community Access. You have a friend and a partner in this New York City Council member, and I look forward to the day when we open the doors and welcome over 245 units of new housing for Bronx residents right here on River Avenue. Congratulations and thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Gibson, for your friendship, for your partnership, and for your passion for this community. Next, we're going to hear from Bud Isaacson, Project Manager for Housing Development in the Regional Office of the New York State Office of Mental Health. Thank you, Bud.
Okay. Well, on behalf of OMH Commissioner Dr. Anne Marie Sullivan and my colleagues in Albany and in the New York City field office, I want to congratulate Community Access on this groundbreaking and see that the ground is already broken, but it's we're going to have the ceremony today, and I'm happy to represent OMH in participating in this great occasion. And OMH has been partnering with Community Access for decades, ever since before I started with OMH, in almost all facets of our repertory of housing, from our licensed community residences to supported housing, scatter site in the community, hundreds of units. And I personally have worked on the Weiss Avenue project and the Cedar Avenue affordable housing, and also most recently East 172nd Street. So I feel a commitment on behalf of OMH. I feel it personally, and I congratulate Community Access on getting this done. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bud. Next, we're going to hear from Liz Oakley, Deputy Commissioner for Development at New York City HPD. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Cal. On behalf of HPD Commissioner Louise Carroll and our entire incredible team at HPD, we are so pleased to celebrate this groundbreaking of 1159 River Avenue. Thank you to Community Access for organizing this event, and to all of you for your incredible partnership at HCR, at the Department of Health, and Joy, MAD, and Wells Fargo. I was looking forward to celebrating this groundbreaking in April when we were first scheduled to be here, so it's fitting that we have showers today. But like Commissioner Wisnauskas, we're happy to be here in any weather. After everything we've weathered through the past 8 months, Projects like this allow us to look towards a sunnier future when community access can welcome 245 households, including 148 formerly homeless families, into their new homes, of which 128 will have supportive services, and many will have permanent affordability due to the MIH requirements from the rezoning that the council member referenced. And thank you to the council member for being here today as well. You take parking lots and put up a paradise. As our city works to rebuild and recover from the COVID-19 crisis, this administration's priorities to support more housing for our lowest income New Yorkers and our most vulnerable has never been more critical. Quality, affordable housing provides stability. Affordable housing is healthcare. Affordable housing is economic development. Affordable housing gives hope. This project could not have been accomplished without all of you here. Together, we can make our city a more affordable and equitable place to live. Thank you so much.
I'm getting much better at taking this mask off. Next, we're going to hear from George Madruga, CEO and founder of Mad Equities.
Hi guys, how are you? Good morning. I just want to thank everybody for being here today. I know in these days we have choices not to all be here together with so many people. So I really thank you guys for all coming and supporting us at this event. So appreciate that. I think I want to go back to the beginning where the council member said the rezoning of this project was the first part of it was very difficult. And now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor here, right? We have 245 units here. We have 250 units across the street and hopefully another 250 units coming within the next few years. So 750 units altogether and within a block of this rezoning. So this is where, part of what city planning, mayor's office, and all the agencies that are involved here do together with us. And we're happy to do it again and again, and hopefully be partners with all the agencies for years to come and create more affordable housing. So thank you. From Chris Lecavera, who worked very hard on this project with us, real professional and amazing guy to work with. Looking forward to doing more things with community access. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, George. And now we're going to hear from Eli Weiss, principal at Joy Construction. Thank you, Eli.
Just to reiterate, thank you everybody for coming today. Obviously, not the perfect weather, but still a perfect event given what we're here to celebrate. So thank you to Councilwoman Gibson, to our elected officials, to our public officials, to everybody at the agencies who work hard, to Joy and Mad's newest partner. Over the course of people's business careers, you have different types of partners, and we now have an adjective for community access as our partner. You're our first partner that we use the word inspirational. You're our inspirational partner. It's amazing work that you guys do, and it's even more inspirational in these difficult times. But people keep saying that New York is gonna come back. I think we are coming back. I think the fact that we're here today is an example of that. And on a personal note, I just want to thank the Madruga family, Amnon Shalhov, Liz and Ruth Ann and Ari Ofgang. There's some people that I look around here that I've been doing this with for almost 20 years, both in the public and private sector. And I think that all of us being here today are a perfect example of a diverse group of people in a diverse group of industries, for-profit developers, nonprofit developers, elected officials, public agencies, one of the largest banks in the world. And in these difficult and divisive times, thank you for being part of something that is truly so inspirational, and I think the finished product will be even more so. So thank you and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Eli. And our final speaker is Gary Vizioli from Wells Fargo. Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Cal. It's a pleasure to be here. Wells Fargo Community Lending and Investment is thrilled to be a part of this wonderful team of financing partners from New York State and New York City, as well as our elected officials who supported this project, the excellent development team, and the array of professionals who have worked together to get started on this very important project. You know, I often think about how to explain to my children like what we all do as an industry and why it's important. And this morning I was thinking about something that Ruth Ann and Liz and Eli just touched on, which is the weather today, the rain. And I thought the rain is like the most basic yet stark reminder of how many of our lives here today differ from those of so many New Yorkers who don't have a roof over their heads. You know, for us, like, we have to go and do something in the rain like this. We grab an umbrella, we throw on a raincoat from like the 1980s, maybe. Maybe we get a little wet, and then we return home to a hot shower and a change of clothes from our closet. But we all know that it's not so simple for those who are homeless. Just a simple rainstorm makes their day like 100 times more complicated right from the get-go. Maybe the best outcome today for a lot of New Yorkers is that they spend the day like on a subway platform the whole day, just so their shoes and the clothes on their back and their meager possessions don't get waterlogged. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about with my children tonight. And that's why what you guys do, the development team, is so, so important. Providing 245 brand new, safe, affordable apartments for individuals and families, many of whom have known firsthand the pain of living on the street. Some of whom ultimately will move into this building when it's complete, but today might very well be out there, not even in the shelter system yet. Maybe they're here in the South Bronx today or elsewhere in the city, just trying to live through the rain. But hopefully after moving in here, they won't have to deal with that pain anymore. And for those tenants with mental health challenges, we know Community Access will be there to provide very important supportive services that they need. Your work is incredibly meaningful. And the fact that we get to participate with you on a project like this is why those of us in community lending and investment come to work each day. So everyone at Community Access, Joy Construction, Mad Equities, Olympic, the entire project team, thank you for choosing us at Wells to be a part of this project. Eli Weiss, thank you for connecting us with Chris to learn about this project. And congratulations on today's groundbreaking. We look forward to seeing this building rise. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Gary. This concludes the speaking portion of this event. I want to thank everyone who came here and delivered remarks for your commitment to developing supportive and affordable housing in New York City and in the Bronx. And thank you so much for coming out here on this day. As Gary mentioned, there are worse things than coming and speaking in the rain. We're going to set up now for the quickest photo shoot ever. So everyone who spoke, go over here to get hard hats and masks. I mean, you have masks, hard hats, and shovels. And then after that, I'm also going to ask Mike McCarthy and Ari to join us for the second photo shoot, hard hats only, for you two. And that's over there.